All right, welcome to DGP Week 10. Of course, if you're making this up, you may certainly use the dates that we have as Monday, November the 2nd, 2015, or you can use whatever date it is. Please don't forget to put your name in the top right-hand corner and your core, whatever core you are in, so I can get that to the right place. So this is DGP Week 10. Please make sure and spell out the 10. We have 2 corrections on Mondays, and when you have 2 corrections, you always can count on the first word being capitalized and some kind of end punctuation here at the end. And when we read the sentence, what can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man, we see that it is an interrogative statement, so we put a question mark at the end, and that completes Mondays. So moving on, we didn't have Tuesday this week, so we went straight on to Wednesday, November 4th. Again, I'm looking to check for spelling and commas. I'm getting a lot of Wednesdays being misspelled, so watch that. It's Wednesday. So we are doing parts of speech here. What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man is our question. We have 3 nouns. We have, your list here, so you're just doing matching. If you are struggling, start with your articles. You're looking for a, and the, so there we have our article. When I look back here, I'm looking at the sentence, and I think maybe the nouns might be an easier thing to start with, so we can go in and we can look at heart as a noun, and man is a noun. So I have 2 of my 3 nouns. My coordinating conjunctions, those are things that bring things together. So I'm looking for words like and so, and our coordinating conjunction here is and, so I'm going to label coordinating conjunction. I can look, a lot of the students this week were able to identify stop as an action verb, so I'm going to take that out. And let's go back and maybe look and see if a definition will help. A participle is a verb. Acting is an adjective. And the trick here is that it always ends in either ed or ing. So we have 2 words in this sentence that end in ed. These happen to be our participles. I'm going to label them here. Determined is a verb. It is acting as a determined heart, and it sounds like an adjective, a determined heart, but it's a participle. And then we have the resolved will. Well, the will they're talking about here is the will of a person who has a lot of muscle here. So this is a noun. So it's the resolved will, and that takes care of all of our nouns. It also takes care of our participles. I'm looking for a helping verb. Oh, we already have our coordinating conjunction. And you guys are getting really good at your prepositions. One of the most popular prepositions is the word of. Here's our prepositional phrase. We'll label preposition here. And then the only thing we have left is an interrogative pronoun. Now, if I said to you, Andrew can stop the determined will, no one would have a problem with telling me this is the subject is Andrew. But this is an interrogative pronoun, and that throws students off. So we'll talk more about that on the next slide. Can stop is going to be your entire verb phrase, this being your helping verb, stop being your action verb. I think we have everything labeled there for Wednesday. This is parts of the speech, So on Thursday, we have parts of the sentence. Again, watch for those commas. We are looking for the different parts of the sentence. We have, a lot of times students like to start with the prepositional phrase. We do have a prepositional phrase. There's only one of them, so you know that is an adjective prepositional phrase. And you guys are getting really good by now at doing the object of the preposition. It is the noun man. So I'm going to label object of the preposition. So we've already taken care of 2 things on our list. Then we need to look with subject, and I kind of ended the last slide with our subject. If I said Andrew can stop, nobody would have a problem telling me that Andrew was our subject. But because we have that interrogative pronoun, it really throws people off. So the subject is our interrogative pronoun what? What can stop is our verb phrase, stop being our verb. It is transitive because we have direct objects. What can stop? If I said Andrew can stop what? You would say heart. That would be your direct object. Andrew can stop what? The will. So those are your two direct objects. And that completes this with the exception of our line. So if I want to draw a line to separate our subject part of the sentence from our predicate part, it would go here. Our subject is what? And that would be underlined twice. And can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man is our complete predicate, the entire thing. This line comes in handy when we do the next slide. That next slide here, see there's that line again. The things that are on this side of the line are the things that are on this side of the line today. So you can use these to build one on top of another. So here's Friday. Again, watch for your commas. And we have our same sentence that we're building on. You already know that this is the subject. Notice I capitalized it because it's capitalized in our sentence there. Then the rest of this, a lot of times when we did this week, a lot of my students say, oh, stop is the verb. And they're correct, but that needs to be the entire verb phrase. So it's can stop is the verb phrase that works here. So we've already taken care of all of this. If you look at yesterday's, or the last slide, we have two direct objects here. And so those two direct objects are what go here in what I call my final four bracket. And so I'm going to take that little circle out, keep it less cluttery. So order is important. So heart goes here and will goes here. So if come back, it says what can stop heart and what can stop will. And so you've got your subject, your verb phrase, and over here are your direct objects. From this point, a lot of my students, oh, I know what's next, I know what's next, because yesterday we had determined will. Well, we have to modify our direct object heart. It is determined. And then we have will, it's the resolved will. Also, I left this out in a bunch of my classes. And is our coordinating conjunction that ties heart and will together. What you can't see, I need to scroll my screen on down a little bit, is this. That right there is coding for your prepositional phrase. We've been labeling that in all of these slides. We have of man, and it simply goes right here. Of man. And then we only have one word left. It is the. So we'll put it right there. And there's your diagram. Now I want you to think about why there is nothing right here on this. And yet we have words that seem to modify that blank space. When we do this, and you are looking at your adjective prepositional phrase, remember, of man tells more about will and more about heart. That's why it's an adjective prepositional phrase. Words that modify nouns, will is a noun, heart is a noun, are adjectives. So this is why we labeled this an adjective prepositional phrase. So it is the heart and the will of man. So the goes for both heart and man, just like of man goes and tells us about whose heart? Well, you know, let me back up. What can stop the what of man? It's the heart of man and the will of man. This prepositional phrase tells us more about both of these nouns right here. And there's your diagram. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a great day, and until next time.